Welcome to our groundbreaking pop-up live webinar series. Hi, my name is Luke Appleby from Equilibrium Risk. Uh, in this, our first series, you can discover a wealth of insight about Martyn's Law, one topic at a time. Each episode is no more than 30 minutes, and we unveil a brand new facet of Martyn's Law, delivering bite-sized learning like never before. But that's not all. As well as these dynamic webinars, we are also rolling out an exclusive audio session where you can dive into the conversation and engage in real-time discussions and be part of this experience. Today, I am live streaming across LinkedIn and YouTube as usual. I will try and monitor the comments. So if you've got any questions, please pop them in there and I will try to answer them as we go. But without further ado, let's get straight into today's webinar. Today's webinar is entitled Benefits. So all about the benefits that UK manufacturers can expect when after complying with the new legislation. Now we understand that it is a case of legislation coming in and manufacturers will have to comply by it, but there needs to be some level of benefits for the business, a business case for complying. So hopefully I will go into that in a bit more detail. But before we get there, let's have a quick recap on the background of Martyn's Law. So Martyn's Law has come off the back of the Manchester Arena bombings back in 2017. Martyn Het, one of the victims, one of the 22 victims who the new legislation is named after. His mother, Fagan Murray, has been campaigning for improved security, preparedness, responses at publicly accessible venues and events. The legislation is called Terrorism Protection of Premises Bill, but it's commonly known as Martyn's Law. It is currently sitting in the House of Commons and it's going out for consultation relatively soon. It was in the King's speech at the end of 2023, so we are expecting it to come into legislation within the sort of next 12 months. Over this live webinar series, we've gone through, if I can get my words out, gone through several topics. Firstly, why Martyn's Law applies to manufacturers. Secondly, what impact the new legislation will have on manufacturers. And the third episode was challenges. What unique challenges will manufacturers face in complying with the new legislation? And if you want to have a look back at any of those episodes, have a look at our YouTube channel, have a look through LinkedIn, you can have a look at those and get into there a bit more detail. And they are quite interesting. So I would sort of scroll back and have a look. So let's get into today's topic, benefits. So what are the benefits that manufacturers might face in complying with this new legislation? So there is no getting away from the fact that this new legislation will revolutionize how manufacturers protect their facilities. It's moved from protecting the operations to protecting the staff, to protecting the supply chain, to protecting their reputation, into protecting people that may have absolutely no direct impact or no direct link to the facility whatsoever. And manufacturers are expected to provide some level of protection for these people. So there has to be some level of benefit, there has to be some level of business case for manufacturers to do this. So hopefully can go into some of those details this morning. The first thing I want to talk about is improved safety for employees and visitors. And yes, the whole legislation is about improving the safety of staff and visitors to site. But bear with me. I want to sort of come to one of the golden rules of security. Now, a golden rule in security is something that is always true, no matter the situation, no matter the scale. The golden rule always sits. And that is, there's no such thing as a random event. There are always indicators that lead up to an event happening. Now, if something does happen as a surprise, it just means that you or your staff weren't paying attention to these indicators. Now, part of the legislation requires staff training to staff to be prepared and aware of a terrorist attack and the symptoms and the stuff leading up to a terrorist attack. So by training your staff, not only will they be aware of the impact or the effects of a terrorist attack, or I can't think of the word, the indicators of a terrorist attack, they'll also be aware of other indicators for other security events. So by improving staff training, you will improve preparedness across the business. I want to talk about Maslow's law and Maslow's hierarchy of needs. One of the main ones, just above psychological needs, was safety needs. So the needs of safety and security of your employees. So by providing this training, you will improve the safety of your employees and where they can flourish and improve and be better employees. The second point I wanted to bring across was reduced financial impact. So the second golden rule I wanted to be aware of was the earlier you are aware of something that's gone wrong, the less it's going to cost the business. So the new legislation requires manufacturers assess and mitigate against terrorist attacks. And by implementing better security measures, they will not only reduce the impact of a terrorist attack, but of an attack in general across the business. This next one I want to bring across is the reduced likelihood. By improving security measures across the business, you reduce the likelihood of a terrorist attack. And thirdly, improve reputation. Reputation is a valuable asset, and it's and to be seen to prioritize employees, to prioritize safety of employees and visitors will improve your image across your community, as well as improving your image within the local community. So those are 4 that I brought across. What are your thoughts on those benefits that manufacturers could face? Do you agree with them or disagree with them? How will the new legislation sit with your employees? And how are they? And will they think you are protecting them, or do you think you are hindering their work? I'd love you to join me in a conversation. Don't forget, we are broadcasting live on our audio Thursday at 1 p.m. I'd love you to see you there. Thank you very much.